Hi, hi there, welcome to the Fresh I Ching channel. This video for Thursday, 5th of February 2026. I thought I've done a couple of castings in the last few days, and this hexagram, which you can see is hexagram 30, came up a few times recently, and I feel like it has extra significance for some, should I say shit or stuff? Some stuff, bar, shit. Don't want to offend anyone. Any fucking nonces or pussies out there, sorry. So, some shit that I've been going through recently. And it's always the same. It's the battle, the balance between, on the one hand, making money, being successful, having people looking at you and saying, oh, you're great, you're cool, you're doing well, you're handsome, blah, 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 blah. And on the other hand, knowing that that's all fake and fleeting, false, and that there is a reality that lies behind the reality that we think we see. And in this modern world, we all laugh at religion and think it's a joke, but it could be that the religious people are looking at reality in a much more realistic way than what we are. And that's just always a constant thing for me. When asking that question, how do you strike the balance between being successful in the physical world and taking care of your spirituality, looking to be a better person, looking to help people and help the world? And this hexagram 30, the clinging fire, came up time and time again. So let's have a quick look. First of all, it's a repeated hexagram. That is so significant. That means the two trigrams are repeated. I think there's 8 examples, and this is one of them. It always gives it extra importance to me. And the image is of fire. The image is of, imagine a fire. Okay? Fire is showing clinging, which sounds a bit strange, but when we talk about it, maybe we can understand that a bit better. Okay. Let's talk about the clinging fire. Hexagram 30. Hexagram, remember, this is the fresh I Ching. This is the version of the 64 hexagrams that I made, which tried to boil down all the amazing stuff that's in the Wilhelm version of the I Ching. Always here with me, especially in the book 3 commentaries. Now, I know book 3 commentaries is made up of all the greatest thinkers of thousands of years ago and more recent about the hexagrams. I know they always mention Confucius, King Wen. I'd like to make a list of the actual people who went into making that commentaries. Okay, and what I tried to do is take that, the commentaries section, the text section, also looking at Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching, also looking at other versions of the I Ching like Brian Brown Walker, for example, and kind of boiling everything down into a hexagram introduction and some bullet points to make it more simple. And if you are a fan of the channel, one or two of you out there, you know that what I do is use a random note. I meditate on the question. I put a detailed question, open question, meditate a few seconds on that question to clear my mind, press the random number generator, and I do not use moving lines because I feel that just makes it too complicated. And I feel it's simpler and works for me just the same without moving lines. Okay. Now back to hexagram 30, the clinging fire. Hexagram introduction. This hexagram shows the importance of clinging to spiritual laws. In order to progress and avoid danger, some things can be clinged onto, and some cannot. We should not grasp onto physical things like age or beauty, but only to ageless and timeless things like the Tao. Boiled down, that's what it's saying. In this constant tightrope between the physical and the spiritual world, for me, look what I'm saying, the balancing of physical and spiritual worlds. And look at this, the hexagram shows the importance of clinging to spiritual laws. Yes, the I Ching is not stupid. The sage knows that we live in a capitalistic society. We live in a physicality-based society, but it is absolutely imperative to cling to spiritual laws to help guide us, to help show us the way, to help improve our time here on earth. Spiritual laws. Let's continue. In order to progress and avoid danger, some things can be clinged onto and some cannot. We should not grasp onto physical things like age or beauty, but only to ageless and timeless things like Tao. I've just been listen to the question. Look, remember the question, the query that I'm asking is how can we find the balance here, the best balance between paying our bills, having a rewarding career, helping our family, buying a car, going to Starbucks, wearing decent clothes, looking good, and knowing too the importance of the spiritual world and knowing that life is more than the physical realm, the feeling that there's something else happening here. Who designs the system? Why is it like this? What happens when we die? Is there reincarnation? Is there more to life? Why is it like this that in every bad is good and in every good is bad? I remember reading an incredible quote in Lao Tzu. Let me see if I can find it. I remember it was 42. This is a bit going off path, but okay, 42. Is it 42? Okay, look. Listen very carefully to this, brothers and sisters. We gain by losing, lose by gaining. We gain by losing, lose by gaining. So these incredible universal laws, that's the way the world works. We gain by losing and we lose by gaining. There's a pattern there. And it's saying that we need to cling to spiritual laws. Those are spiritual laws. Those who know don't talk. Those who talk don't know. We gain by losing, lose by gaining. These are essential truths compounded in the Tao. We have to cling to those spiritual laws. Like karma, do good, good things will happen. Do bad things will happen. That the universe takes away from what is full and gives to what is empty. Those are spiritual laws that I think we need to cling to. Let's look at the bullet points, okay? Repeated hexagram again. Clinging means resting on something. All things depend on, cling to other things. Grain, plants, and trees cling to the soil. It's telling us that in order to grow and be successful, we need to cling to these spiritual laws. We need to swim. For me, it's a case of the more we access the I Ching, the more we read the Tao, the more we think about this thing, we swim in the Tao. It becomes us. We cling to it. And these amazing things happen. A few amazing things have happened to me this week, and it's like, okay, that's what it's talking about. We cling to spiritual laws and we're open to the universe. In order to progress and flourish, we must cling to spiritual forces, universal laws. Clinging can be good, but do not cling on to being young or healthy. These are mere passing phases. The humble, the sad, they have good fortune. Now, not clinging on to spiritual stuff, that's fine. We talked about that. How about this one, though? The humble, the sad, they have good fortune. Think about that. That's another universal law. It's a hard one for us in a modern Western society to comprehend. And it's still hard for me to comprehend, yeah. It's like it says in the New Testament often, the meek shall inherit. The humble, the sad, they have good fortune. It's hard to see because maybe we don't think they do have good fortune, but possibly that's where we're wrong. And it could be like rich people are not happy. People who are not rich are happy. It's something like that. That's how wrong I think we all might be. We're looking at it all the wrong way. And the humble, the sad, they have good fortune. So how can we make ourselves more humble? How can we make ourselves more dissuaded, more disattached? That's why I said sad. I wouldn't say sad, I would say unattached. Neutral people have good fortune. Okay? Okay, this has been then a brief video to look at Hexagram 30, the clinging fire, which shows the best way to balance, to act in this world where we have this tightrope balance between the physical and the spiritual world. And is saying to repeat, cling to spiritual laws and grow. Do not be distracted by physical things. Although we live in the physical world, just cling to those spiritual laws. Swim in the Tao. Access the I Ching. Read the Tao Te Ching. Read Chuang Tzu. Read Lao Tzu. Read all these people. And these amazing things will start to happen to you. Okay, so let's hope that the amazing things start to happen to you. Have a great few days, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.